Now, I hope everyone is enjoying their holiday weekend, and we've had great weather here on the East Coast. Now, I can't say the same for out in the Midwest and some of the southern states. Now, this video might ruffle a few feathers, and I'm not taking any political side because the politicians and media, they have divided this country into, if you believe in this ideology, you're with this political party. And if you believe this over here, well, you're with this political party. And I look at things just from a financial aspect, the financial cause and effect. And some of these storms out in the Midwest and the South, and some of these tornadoes, some of these hailstorms, they're having big monetary ramifications. And if you're caught in one of these, it could mean money out of your pocket. It could be the difference of whether your insurance policy, your insurance premiums go through the roof, or whether your insurance policy is canceled altogether next year. And I speak about the economy, economic metrics, commodities, and stocks, and how inflation and the overall economy is just going downhill, and it's been going downhill for many years. But one of the things that I don't talk about that's giving some of these economic barometers a run for their money is the weather. And many people find themselves homeless due to job loss, drug addiction, alcohol addiction, and sometimes fires, and sometimes just bad luck. But the weather in the past 2 decades has pretty much been equal, or if not more, than what the economy is doing to put people out of their homes in America. Now, some of these tornadoes and some of these hurricanes that we've experienced in the past 20 years have left a lot of people homeless. And a lot of times when you get wiped out by one of these forces of nature, there's no coming back. And these insurance companies, they'll find reasons why not to pay out. Maybe the tornado was too strong. Maybe the tornado was rated an EF4 and your insurance only covered up to an EF3. And all across the country, these insurance companies, they'll find ways to wiggle out of not paying out and not honoring the policy. And a lot of times, the people just pretty much have to fend for themselves. And if the insurance company does honor the policy, a lot of times, it can take a long time for you to get a check. And by that time, it may be too late. So in many cases, you're pretty much starting over. And we're seeing this happen more frequently, it seems like, each year. And a lot of times, with the financial hardship comes psychological hardship, because when these storms come through, and something that can be so dear to you, some family mementos or even pictures of your grandparents' marriage or your little kids at their birthdays. When that stuff goes missing, I mean, that's real heartache. And then we're talking about depression. So these storms, when they're coming through, they're wrecking a good portion of America. Now, if you go down south in the state of Florida, I don't care anywhere you go, you will still see blue tarps on many roofs. And any storms that come through this year, I mean, a lot of people are going without insurance. And in some cases, that's great. You can save money because, again, many of these insurance companies, they're not going to honor their policy. They're going to find a way to wiggle out. But if one of these storms comes through, you may end up having to start over. And at what cost is that going to be? Now, the National Hurricane Center, they just came out a week ago with their prediction of the amount of hurricanes that may form this year and how many major storms may affect the United States. And I believe they're predicting a record year. And if that happens, we're going to be in big trouble here. That's going to accelerate the economic demise of this country. So not only are we battling inflation, the economy, we're battling Mother Nature. And the walls, they're going to end up closing in as we move further into the year. Now, I'm here on the East Coast. And in the last 20 years, I've lived in a few cities here on the East Coast. And I can tell you from my own experience, and I don't think anyone in any of the big cities can disagree, that it's been substantially warmer in the last 20 years here on the East Coast. Now, we've had some frigid cold periods in the winter, yes, but overall, many of these winters have been mild. And as far as snowfall, all of the big cities from Washington, D.C., or even Richmond, Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Philly, New York, they've seen decreases in snowfall. And again, you won't be able to find anyone in any of these cities who would disagree. Now, I remember times when the Hudson River and the East River would freeze up, but we haven't even been seeing that. And you go down south, and even the Chesapeake Bay, there were times when the Chesapeake Bay would freeze up, and that's no longer happening. Now, is it climate change? Well, something's changing. Now, whether man is at fault, who knows? This planet has been around for billions of years, and humans have only been keeping record for less than 200. So I'm not even going to go down that political rabbit hole. But regardless, things are changing. And sometimes change is good. Nature can adapt over time. And maybe someone can say, hey, the benefit is we have a longer growing season. Less people are injured when there's less snow and ice on the ground. And they'd be right. And I can give a green check mark to them on that. But at the same time, there's always a cause and effect. And a warmer winter here on the East Coast might mean something worse later, here or somewhere else. Now, if you like this type of content, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.